Well, what is good? What is happening, everybody? It's your boy Ferris Blunt, and welcome to another edition of LGR Reviews. We are on episode 4 of We Own the City, and I am Ferris Blunt, but I'm not alone. I'm never alone. I'm with my home dog, Caleb. Caleb, how are you, dog?
I'm good, man. Ready to get this root going.
Wow, that was very delayed, man. Were you like processing me saying hi to you in the morning?
Your shit's delayed. I was delayed.
No, but here's the Caleb. But we're not alone, man. We have our main man
Yep,
Hendo
yep.
here. He's been on every single one of these episodes. He has been dropping knowledge on us throughout this entire time because me and you are not Baltimore people. We're not. We've never
Nope.
been. I've never been
Never
to the
been
East
there.
Coast. Period. Never
Neither
been
have
there.
I.
Neither
Never.
have I. But Hendo, how you, man?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm doing swell, bro.
That's what's up.
All right. Yeah, but now let's add somebody. Someone's missing. Unfortunately, Deshaun couldn't make it. Something came up. So, Deshaun, shout out to you, man. Really appreciate you for being on episodes 1 and 2. Well, episodes 1, 2, and the one about 3. But let's add a fourth person, right? Someone else who has immense knowledge of the Baltimore scene. Actually, this person is a city worker. He works in the city of Baltimore's IT department. We know him. We love him. He is the one, the only. He is one half of Lunch Break Hot Take. He is Jose. Jose, how are you, my man?
You know what? I am going to take a moment to take all that in. That good morning and everything, man.
Man,
How are you guys? Thanks for having me on the show.
Good,
hey,
good.
man,
How are
thank you for
you?
being
Great.
here, bro.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on. Hey, man, let's get down to the nitty gritty, Jose.
Hey, before
We
that,
own. Okay,
before
hey,
that,
yeah.
shout out to the highlights. Yes,
Oh,
There,
yes,
there it is. You see that? You see
there
that?
it is.
There
Get
it
you some
is.
Nice,
merch,
bro.
guys.
Yeah, give
Get
me
you
that,
some
Brittany.
merch. Okay.
Hey, man, I got my Ring King shirt last night. I showed y'all that, right? Yo, man,
Hot.
not gonna lie, man. That Ring King shirt, it's hot. That
It's
logo
fire.
on that,
Yeah.
the logo on that color, I was like, yo,
Yeah.
it's fire. It's fire. But you know what's also fire? John Bernthal. That's who's fire. That's who's fire, yo. John Bernthal. This episode, it's all about Wayne Jenkins. It's literally
Yeah.
all about Wayne Jenkins, bro. We get to see everything Wayne Jenkins does right away. It starts out with Wayne Jenkins at a car chase that kills somebody. Like right away. There's no remorse, no muss, no fuss. Straight up gets right into it. So let's go around the horn. Caleb, your initial thoughts on this episode when you first saw it, my man.
yeah, it's getting more crazy and crazy as all this unfolds. Like in the last episode, you saw with Alice saying his actions not just affecting the criminals he's taking down or the drug dealers, like it's affecting other people. Like their actions that these cops are doing are affecting just normal average day people that are just happen to be collateral damage and them just doing their criminal and repping off criminals. And yeah, it's getting worse and worse, and it's getting crazier, especially when they see the free grade protests, how that unfolded. I was really liking that part, and yeah, um, always good. Like you said, John Berthold, just it's great. He's great in the show, so yeah, I liked all that.
All right, so let's go to you, Hendo. I also want to same question, but I also want to add another thing due to the fact that you're from Baltimore. How accurate do you think he's portraying someone from that region of his ilk?
Um, I love the episode. Like the last episode, I titled that one "No Honor Amongst Thieves." I titled this one "The Setup" because the whole thing he just set people up. It kind of
Mm-hmm.
surprised me to the degree how it went on, and I guess we'll get into that later. But as far as the accuracy, like literally, if he were to walk into a Baltimore police department, especially on the east side, you couldn't tell the difference. Like you would think he was from here.
Yes. Yeah.
Jose,
Um.
rolling into you, my man.
Look, I mean, he nailed that accent, man. Like that Dundalk area. You know what I'm saying?
Did
Like
he?
Mm-hmm.
like from the first episode he started talking, I was like, man, he did his homework. He definitely did his homework because he sounded like
Mm-hmm.
he's from like that South Baltimore type region.
Yep.
Um, yeah, man. Look, great actors. And I wasn't surprised by any of it. I mean, like These guys do a great job putting together these shows, and it's very eerie how accurate it is to like the actual events, right? And like just as a fan of that work, and just being entertained by like how good of a job they're doing acting, like that part was great. But it's also infuriating because these are real life events. They still go on today, right? And even though this is about Baltimore, we know this every poor black neighborhood across the country goes through this exact same thing, so it's very relatable across the country. But I am happy that it's on display, on a cable network like HBO, for other people to see it and take it in and say, "Damn, this is really happening." Because I'm not sure if you guys ever watched the show The Shield. It came on FX.
Yeah,
that was about
Michael
dirty cops.
Chiklis. Yeah.
Right, and I love that show. And what they did was wild, but what the Gun Trace Task Force is doing or did do is even worse than that.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean,
the difference too, Jose. The difference too is like The Shield, fictional.
Fictional.
This happened. This happened. Like this actually happened. He actually robbed a stripper.
Yes,
like that happened. I feel so sorry. I feel so sorry for her. I feel
robbed
so
the
sorry
Rite
for
Aid.
her, man.
Robbed the
Rite Aid.
Yeah,
during the riots.
And sold a bunch of oxy pills. Like when he just dropped them in front of that.
He sold more than just oxy.
Lap. Yeah, oxy, weed, coke, you name it. He did it. He did it all. Yeah.
Yes.
I remember growing up. I heard this famous phrase. You know what gang's bigger and badder than the Bloods and the Crips?
The cops.
The Blues.
Yes.
And I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? The reason gangs and drugs and the stuff they do are even allowed because some cops allow that stuff to happen. Because like sometimes they're a part of it. They can like homie said in the previous episode, you messed up the paperwork. If you have the paperwork right, you're never gonna get jammed up. Make sure you start with the attack first. Make sure you're always in some danger. So when someone brings up the case and they bring up your case file, they can say, oh, this cop really did, everything was justified because he was in imminent danger. Where's the bottle? Start with the bottle. Say he threw a bottle at you. Say, I'm like, what? That didn't happen. What's going on here? He punched the dude. And I'm like, here's the thing. I know cops are dirty. Some cops are dirty. I know some cops that are good cops. But the problem is, if the good cops don't say nothing about the bad cops, there aren't any good cops. You know what I mean? Like that's just a fact of life. There's jobs in this country that you're not supposed to be. There's no bad apples. Those people are not allowed. Imagine if there's a bad apple doctor, be like, oh, he's one of the bad apples. He killed 4 people. He's just one of the bad ones. He would be fired.
What can we do? Right.
Exactly. No, here's the thing. He would be fired, brought to the medical board, and sent to jail.
Yes.
And no one would be like, hey man, that's messed up, man. That's what the doctor had to do. He killed like 4 people. What are you talking about? He killed somebody. It's not like the patient like died on his own. It happens. That's why there's always investigations.
Yeah.
But this episode mainly is based on an interview with one of the Gun Trace Task Force members he was a newer member, Maurice Ward. Most of this episode is through his recollections of Jennings' actions. How did you like that story element where they're using this interview placed with flashbacks, guys? Let's start with you, Jose. Did you like that story time narrative with that?
Yeah, I mean that's the common theme throughout the whole thing, right? Is just they're getting recounts of different people that they arrested and all the things that they've done, and that's the one thing. It's kind of hard. Like they jump around between timelines, different years or whatever. It's not in chronological order, but honestly, it doesn't really matter, right? Because they've done so much. Like they're just trying to show you, look at all the stuff that they've done with different cops throughout the city, right? So I enjoy that part. And Hendo, you call this episode the cover up, right?
Setup.
That's the setup. I call it the F up and the cover up, right? Because that was a common theme throughout the show, was that Wayne Jenkins is is trying to make these busts, and he's cracking down on people that are doing absolutely nothing wrong, but like, you know, because he caused an accident at the very beginning, and he caused another accident. We flipped the guy over. And that one, I remember reading about that one. They actually planted I think it was a BB gun on that guy, and the cop that came onto the scene to plant that gun, he doesn't appear anywhere in the actual police report. So I remember the writer for the show, Fenton. He had discussed that in the interview. But yeah, and also, like, I think, I'm not sure it was because of that incident or they just decided just to do that in general. They, at some point, they started to drive around with fake guns just in case they needed to plant something on somebody. You know, if they shoot somebody and they can't find anything on them, they have something on them ready to just toss on them, so they can justify it.
Hendo, what about you, my man?
Yes, I love the way that they do it. Like, it's not straight lace, like he said, chronological order. You really don't need a timeline or an order, because what they've done is just effed up all the way around. So it's just crime after crime after crime. It doesn't matter when, what year it happened. I just like the way how they go to each individual and portray their story and connect the dots.
Kel, what about you, my man?
Yeah, like I said before, like the interview parts are some of my favorite parts of the episodes. You know, we get to see their perspective on things, and you get two different perspectives. And this one, you know, we just get a guy, you know, saying like, "Oh, I can't really do much. I was just in this put in this situation, and I just kind of had to roll with it." And then you get other kind of guys like, "Oh, well, I justify this, my actions by this and that." Or, you know, I just get mine, and that was it. You know, you get those different perspectives of each guy they interview, and I think that's really cool to see.
Yeah.
You know what I like about the 4 interviews that we saw with Raymond, or Raymond?
Allers,
Ryan Allers, G Money, and Maurice. When you see the other 3 in other scenes when they're doing the jacking, they're happy as hell. They're making money. They're like, you know, they're like living life. G Money blatantly talks drugs on a phone like he doesn't know. Like he literally, like, here's the thing, bro. It's like people be like, "Oh, it's hubris. It's hubris." It's
Oh, he froze for a second, but he was saying it's hubris.
Really,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, you're back, Ferris.
Sorry, but Maurice, his feelings about the entire situation is consistent in the other scenes. In his face, it feels all the same. He just feels like, I am so screwed. I am so beyond screwed, because I don't take the money. They think I'm a snitch. I take the money. I'm a dirty cop. Like, he's like, like, he's seen what they do to drug dealers. What do they do to a cop if they find out he ratting them out? You know, put a 2 in his head, dump him out in the woods. I don't know, maybe. So he just plays the game. And then Maurice says something that like triggered me. He's like, my wife also works for BPD, so I couldn't bring in dirty money. And I was like, right there.
Yeah.
Right there. His wife was also a cop. So if he rolled up in the house with an extra 20K, his wife's gonna be like, why the hell you got extra 20K? I know how much we get paid. How you get 20K? And I know overtime ain't that much either. So he's like,
I just think he didn't want to jeopardize her career. I don't think it was about her knowing what he stole. I think he just didn't want to jeopardize her future in the police department.
And also, when they kept on asking him, it was funny how they didn't understand this. Like, they're like, "Well, why did you go along with this stuff if you didn't, you know, want to do it?"
Yeah,
just like,
no lie, the FBI cops were like, "We're asking some dumbass questions."
Right. He's like, yeah, like, I mean, really? Yeah, throughout the whole thing, right? Like,
I'm like,
it's just like, yeah, and he's just like, what am I supposed to do? Like, everybody knows who this guy is. He's the top cop, you know, in the city. Like, I'm gonna say no. Like, if he says do something, you do it.
Exactly. Like, bro, it's like he tells you, "Yo, take this money. Take this money." You say no, you don't know what's gonna happen. He gonna shoot you, gonna rat you out, gonna put you on a stink post, set you up. You don't know. So what you do is you listen. And that's the thing. People be like, "Yo, man, like what am I supposed to do?" Like I mean, the cops, no, like the federal investigators were irritating me, bro. For like this last couple episodes, I'm like, y'all are on point. But this episode, I'm like, why are y'all asking a question you already know the answer to? You know what I mean? And like when he tells you the answer that you're looking for, why do you look shocked? Like, I don't know why homie was like, oh, why did you go along with it if you knew it was wrong?
Well, they needed a
What?
verbal confession. They needed a verbal confession for
No,
their cooperation.
yeah.
And as far as the dumb shock look, it was, they're like your police officers. You're not supposed to conduct yourselves in this manner. That's where the
Mhm.
shock look comes from. But they just needed them to say it out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so like let's move on. So like he's telling the story of one night where they basically like rob a couple drug dealers where Jenkins, impersonates a federal agent, which technically is a crime. It's
It's
a
a
crime,
crime.
by the way. It's also a crime. So he's telling the federal agents that he impersonated you. So that's another crime on his belt. And then it's just basically this episode is just Wayne Jenkins just screwing up the entire time. He's just screwing up the entire time. And you know what's funny too? Like the screw ups, all the screw ups, and then boom, I made sergeant. I got
Yeah.
stripes, and I'm like,
Right.
what? Like I get that he's a cop and he's dirty, but like y'all seriously this brazen to make this man a sergeant? Like y'all were like, we don't care. We
His
don't
stats back it
care.
up.
Give him the
His,
sergeant.
Yeah.
Yeah, stats
his
back it
stats
up.
back it up. That's all they
What
care about.
when you so Tony, when like I'll go to you, when you saw that tonal shift where it's like Jenkins, screw up, screw up, screw up, screw up, someone's dead due to the screw up, robbing the stripper, planting the gun, sergeant. What were you going through when you saw all of that? Like
Uh,
what were you like, yo, did this really just happen?
Oh no, for me it was
Yeah,
status quo because, like I
yeah.
said, I grew up with my cousin's husband's relatives. They're all cops, and I mean we have the whole cornucopia of cops in that inner circle. You got the good ones, the bad ones, the dirty ones. We even got a couple that were in the news, and all of them got promoted.
Oh,
All of them got
oh
moved
wow.
around. If something happened, they just got sent off to a different district. So to me, it wasn't a surprise at all. It's something I expect. If you make your stats and you make your superiors look better, you're going to move up regardless. Like the man told him, he said, look, you're a top earner. We got you. As long as you do what you need, you'll never go down. So I'm just, I'm not surprised by anything that happened.
Mhm. Caleb, my man.
Uh, yeah, you see how this progression of how he gets his status from what he does, and you saw that even the guy, like, he didn't even know that he was a dirty cop. Like, I think it was Ward that said he didn't even know, like, because of his reputation. He just knew his numbers. Like, that's all he was known by. Is known by his numbers and what he got done as far as arresting people. And so he had to learn from, Suter, that he told him, okay, that just learn what you learn from what you can and get out, because some people knew who worked with him, but everybody else in the police just knew him as he was Wayne Jenkins. Like, he had this status, and that's why he could get away with so much over time, and you see how like you're thinking, like, how can he get away with so much? And it's because he has such a a aura about him, the status about him, that he can, because he is Wayne Jenkins. He can get away with this kind of stuff.
My man Jose.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think this episode did a good job highlighting like just that problem with just the relationship between police and black communities, is that he can get away with that, and police departments can get away with that because this is inherent assumption of black people, especially poor black people, that they just commit crimes. Hey, it's a high
Mhm.
crime area, high drug use, lots of guns and all that stuff, but nobody ever looks at at what causes those situations, right? And even in the episode during the Freddie Gray protest, after the was it two? I think two or three of the cops got convicted or charged with murder. He's sitting in the break room with the other police, black policemen, and he's essentially calling black people animals, right? He's calling them animals, and this is and that, and it's us against them, this is and that. But later on in the episode, he's going to his friend. He's just like, let's sell drugs. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and rob this Rite Aid. I'm not even robbing drug dealers anymore. I'm gonna rob this legitimate business to supply your drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's so wrapped up in this character, this persona. Like, I'm Wayne Jenkins. I'm the top cop, that he doesn't even see the monster that he is. Right? Like, even the real Wayne
Mhm.
Jenkins that's in prison right now, even on his way to prison, he's trying to say he's innocent and this is and that and he didn't do anything wrong. I think he believes that, hey, I'm taking guns off the streets, I'm taking drugs off the streets, I'm doing a service, but he's robbing drug dealers and legitimate businesses to sell drugs. Right? Like he is the monster. He is the problem. So I think this episode did a excellent job of painting that picture.
Yeah. And like, okay, like when I'm watching the show, right, I'm like, it can't go crazier than this. Like you can't, right? You just can't. Like you know what I mean? Like basic dirty cop stuff. Robbing a drug dealer here and there. And then I'm seeing them like, yeah, this man just robbed a Rite Aid during a protest. Did this man just seriously rob a Rite Aid during a protest? And then like had 2 trash bags full of Oxy. 2 trash bag fulls. And I'm not talking about the small trash bags. I'm talking about lawnmower, put the leaves in the bag, trash bags of Oxy. And I'm like, what next? He going like, what next? Like, what's next, bro? Like, what's next? And I'm just like, I'm just mind blown. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like, now I know why this entire city don't believe anything they say.
Yeah.
That's why these, like, no one in Baltimore sees a person in a cop uniform like, you're a trustworthy man. I trust you. Hell no. Hell no. Which falls into my next category, guys. The scene with Sean Suiter in court, where he comes into court. He just made an arrest. He's like, I'm about to get this man sent to jail. And he sits there and he sees 4 or 5 people say, I can't be impartial to this case because I hate the police. They're untrustworthy. I don't trust them. And I'm like, yo, homie legitimately just said, I don't want to be here because the police, like I have never seen this. Like I've heard about this, right, guys? Like you hear stuff, but hearing is different from seeing. When you see it right in front of your eyes, you're like, what the hell did I just watch? Sean Suiter, I'm not saying he's a good cop. I'm saying he's one of the better cops, okay? He probably did some stuff, probably took some money, skimmed off of a couple of drug dealers. It is what it is. Oh my God, bro. Imagine me saying that makes you a good cop. You're just skimming off of the top of drug dealers a little. Like, oh my God, bro. That's wild, right, Jose? Hendo, Caleb, that's wild, right? Oh, he's one of the good cops. He only took $2,000 from them. That's all he took.
And
what?
And that practice goes on well before the gun trace task force. So like let's make that clear. And people call it taxing. Tax them a little bit, whatever.
Absolutely.
And you're never going to get drug dealers to complain about that because they're not going to say, well, actually, I had more drugs than that. I just got robbed, right? Like that's just more on their sentence. So it's just like, hey, look, they busted me, charge it to the game. It's whatever, right?
Yeah.
But once they realized that they had carte blanche to do whatever they wanted to do, they just went extreme with it. They're like, we're gonna take all of it. There's 100,000 on the table. We found 10,000.
Yeah. Exactly, bro. It's like when you have pie, right? And you have that one piece of pie and it's very good pie. They're like, I want the whole pie now, but you don't want to share. You know what I mean? That's what happened with Addles. He backfired on his ass where he found the $100,000 in that apartment. The 10 grand.
About the 10 grand he took from the
And he didn't tell nobody.
He didn't want to share it. Yeah.
He ends up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think was it this episode, the last episode, where they say no, but your actions do have consequences because that 10 grand you stole. That was 10 grand he owed to his. Oh yeah, exactly, exactly. Yo, when the federal prosecutor said that to Addles, yo man, that was some powerful stuff, right? He was like,
yes,
that 10 grand you stole, he owed that to his drug dealer. You know what happened? They shot him in his front lawn for his daughter and his wife to see.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, I'm like, with Jenkins, it leads to car crashes, leads to people dying. Like, now you're just not, taking out criminals. You're killing people, just normal people, and it's like not even affecting you. You're just trying to get away with it by, trying to for nothing. Like, you literally looked in the car and you found nothing in both times, and you're just finding a reason to plant a gun on him. And these people are just, getting hurt and dying for nothing. You didn't find anything. You benefited no way.
Right.
Well, now speaking of the normal people, so back to the court situation, guys. Like we've seen this once or twice in this episode, and it's still like it's mind-boggling that we can't get 12 jurors. We can't.
Yes.
Like take me through that, Jose and Hendo, because y'all from there. This is y'all. Like I'm not saying this is y'all city. Like explain yourself. And I'm not saying that, but like take me through like the feeling when like y'all have had jury duty, right? And I'm pretty sure.
I've
Like,
actually never
I don't
done
know.
jury duty.
I mean,
You've
if,
never done it.
I know.
Really?
But I mean, I don't. I mean,
Me
I work
either,
in the
but
city.
that's
I
not the
don't live
point.
in the city. Yeah.
Oh,
listen,
okay.
it's different. It's different in the county. In the
Oh,
county, you could be in a city. You could be like number 350, and you'll get jury duty. I think I was like number 125, and they took 1 through
Mhm.
4.
Yeah.
So in
Wow.
the county, it's a little bit different. You're not gonna really do too much jury duty in the county unless they really
Okay.
need it bad.
Yeah. If they summon you for jury duty, like yeah, they give you a number. If they call your number, then you're supposed to show up. But yeah, my number has never been called before.
So when y'all were watching the scene where legitimately like person after person said, "Nah, I can't be impartial. Why can't you be impartial?" Because they lying motherfuckers. That's why. That because
Yeah.
I don't trust any of them. They probably jacked up my homie last week. When y'all were watching that scene, what were y'all feelings like? Yo, this is crazy. Like, this is
Well,
wild.
they primed you for that, and what was it,
Yeah.
episode 2, right? When
Yeah.
the one investigator came in, the civil rights lawyer, and she was talking to that one cop, and he said it.
Mhm.
He's like, we can't even get 12 jurors anymore to prosecute because nobody trusts us because everybody thinks we're dirty. And she's like, you are dirty. And
Right.
he's like, well, yeah, I guess we are, right? So like you're just seeing that play out, in a scene, and it's affecting Sean Suter's case, and just kind of reiterates what they were talking about in the previous episode. And yeah, like look, will we say like there was a tape that floated around back in the day. Stop snitching. You remember that, Hendo?
Yeah.
And Carmelo Anthony caught a lot of heat for appearing in that
Yeah.
video, and everybody's like, oh yeah, this stop snitching culture, this and that. Well, yeah, it's because you don't talk to police, because you just assume police don't have your best interest in mind, and that's not a black community thing. That's anywhere. Like you just you don't volunteer information to the police, but it's so bad in the city that it spilled over to the courtroom, to where people don't even want to just believe anything they say. It's now it's don't talk to police. It's don't believe police. Don't trust the police, even when they go on a stand and testify, because we see them time and time again lie.
Cheat and
Lie
steal.
without any consequence. Even when they get caught, they'll lie about stuff, and we're not going to be a part of that. So I honestly say good for those jurors.
Yeah. Hendo.
So yeah, it's not just a Baltimore thing. It's a big problem with, you can't trust the cops, because a lot of these cops grew up with a lot of the drug dealers, especially in the city here. So when you have these witnesses that go and give this information, these cops go back and tell their homeboys who said it, where they live, they spill this information. So you can't trust these individuals. But to me, it's funny, but it's not funny, because everybody that I know, they don't do jury duty, not because of the cops. They just don't want to do jury duty. They try to find any excuse to get out of it. So it's not always just I don't trust the cop thing. It's just I don't want to waste my time and be stuck here on a case for 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Caleb, your thoughts on jury duty, I guess.
Well, yeah, like I said, I've never been to jury duty, so I don't know how that process goes of being impartial or not. But I guess they can't really. I guess this police force has arrested so many people just trying to get their numbers up that they can't even find nobody that they haven't arrested or haven't been, nobody hasn't been affected by what they've done. And I think that's the craziest part, that this whole police force affected pretty much the entire city, that they can't even get enough jury duties to.
And think about that, Caleb. Baltimore isn't a small city either.
It's not. It's
And
not, bro. It's
out of
pretty
80
big.
people, out of 80 people, they only found 7.
That's crazy. That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild. Hey man, I want to transition, you guys. Can we just talk about that one cop that's now bail bondsman that just wore a Ray Lewis jersey the entire episode? He's like he's can we talk about that? I still talk about it. It's literally, dude. I was like, yo, is he wearing a Ray? I was like, understandable. Ray did kill somebody, so it is what it is.
Oh,
sorry, too soon. My bad. Too soon. My bad. Yo, man, that's so wild, bro. I'm like, yeah, it's in Baltimore, right? And I was like, homie's just like wearing a Ray Lewis jersey. it's like a Ravens jersey. And I'm like,
That's
oh
what
yeah,
they
I
do.
forgot we're
It's
Baltimore.
Ravens
Like,
town.
That's what
yeah,
they
like
do,
no,
bro.
because you forget, bro. Because like this episode is so relatable. Like the show is so relatable, right? That you forget it's Baltimore. You just feel like, oh, this is just an American city. It's literally like any American city you know. It's Chicago, it's LA, it's San
Yeah.
Francisco, it's Oakland, it's New York. You name it. Houston. There's a section of the police force that does what he's done. That's jacked up drug dealers. That's beat up civilians. That's accidentally killed civilians in the process of getting drug dealers. And like you just forget it's Baltimore for a sec, and then homie just rolls up in a Ray Lewis jersey. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
time out. Wait, what? Yeah, that's Ray Lewis. He's more. I feel like he's more of a Terrell Suggs man. Myself, I don't think the Ray Lewis jersey fits. That's not
You
point that
know,
out.
and not only that, like I mean, you miss. I mean, there's a lot of Ravens apparel that appears throughout the episodes, and if you look at the times when they're recounting the
Jenkins
2012
is
season,
yeah.
they're wearing the
Jenkins is
Super
wearing
Bowl. They're wearing Super
yeah.
Bowl shirts. Yeah. So,
Yeah. And I'm like, bro, what is going on right now? Like,
yeah.
like, cause here's the thing. I remember that season. And I'm like, yo, like this is happening at the same time as I was watching the Ravens play football. Like this is wild, right? Like you make that weird ass connection. It's not really a good connection, but it's a connection. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, I guess I want to talk about this little scene, right, where they bring in the county drug dealers, the county drug officers, right? You know, the two white dudes, Kirkpatrick and Pooh's partner. I don't remember the guy's name. I just remember
Yeah.
Pooh. Shout out to Pooh. Pooh, wherever you are, I miss
Wait,
you.
was that?
I don't know why.
Where are they? Hartford County? I think Hartford County.
I think it's Hartford.
One works in Hartford County and one works in the city.
I think it's Baltimore. No. I think they're both counties. I think Baltimore County.
So yeah,
Almost
Baltimore
Hartford
County is right next to Baltimore City.
City.
Hartford County is just north of Baltimore.
Yeah, I think it's Hartford and Baltimore County because he had to go talk to Kilpatrick to connect him to Shropshire because he's also investigating Shropshire. So
that's how the whole thing kind of broke open with Hartford County. They were following Shropshire.
Yeah,
and then they found that they found that other tracer, the
about
city
G
tracer.
Money. Yeah, about G Money. Yeah. So no, they were following Adam Anderson, Black, and they found the tracer on him.
Yes.
Yeah, because Shropshire and G Money knew each other, and Shropshire told them about Adam to go rob Adam, and dummies just being lazy tried to take their tracker off.
Yeah,
like bro, really?
But that's not what got him. That's not what got him caught though.
That's not what got him caught. What got him caught is G Money basically admitting being on the phone saying, "Yeah, I'm your homie. Tell me where the drugs."
I got drugs.
Like, that's I'm like, bro, really?
But my man, I threw you off fast. My bad.
Yeah, no. So the scene, right? The scene. So like the prosecutor brings in another prosecutor with the two detectives, and the female prosecutor or detective, the female federal agent says, "Oh, should we tell Jenkins he's walking into a buzzsaw?" And I'm like, "Yo, she doesn't even know.
I thought
she doesn't know. I thought she was dirty too." And then I'm like,
I thought she was dirty.
So like this is where the timeline thing kind of confused me a little. I was like, wait, what period is this? Because if this wasn't after this was before the Maurice, this was probably before all the interviews, right? So it threw me off a little. I was like, wait, she's had like all these interviews. Why does she still there? So like I was kind of confused a little. Then I realized, oh wait, this is like before the interviews. This is like before all the interviews. Okay, got it. So like imagine if that lady said, "Yo, Jenkins, there's an investigation coming down the pipeline after you screwed up your drug arrest." Because
no, that's not what that's not what she was telling him.
That's not what happened.
She was gonna tell him that his people were gonna be investigated for being dirty.
Yeah.
She thought he was clean. So
yeah,
she was about to tip him off to get everything straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Caleb.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about his reputation that was so good that they didn't even know. Nobody didn't know about the other dirty stuff. Like only the people that worked with them knew about it. And like Suter even said, like I know it, but he didn't say anything. He was telling, he'll tell you, just getting it out, but he ain't gonna tell you what he's actually doing. And the ward had to find out himself what he was actually doing. And then by that time, it's already too late. I mean, you're in it. And you got to do what you got to do. And yeah, that's how. And he built up this status for I think I forgot which character said like, "Oh, there's two sides to Jenkins." Like this kind of like dirty cop Jenkins and like
I think it was Ward.
and yeah, like dirty cop, but like
And
also
then
one
this,
that he takes care of his people type of.
yeah, because during the
Yeah.
protests, he's like going after sticking up for his cops, and
Getting
he'll go
food.
do this fun, and yeah, and then you saw during the protest, he went out there, he took charge, and he was leader, trying to protect his guys, helping out, and he built up that status, like, yeah, he's a guy that will protect it.
He brought them. He brought them
all
food,
cops.
water, and chicken. He brought
Yeah.
about. He bought refreshments, and like he just like he did the little stuff to make people love him, basically to gain
Right.
loyalty. And it's like here's the thing, like also like the Freddie Gray protests, they gave him cover because people were so worried, were so immersed with that and the city, and because the people were like, oh, the city's gonna be burned to the ground or whatever. So they completely forgot about him. They completely forgot about his everything he did because like they're like he's important, but not that important. The city is in turmoil. It was more like the city's being called out. Like get your shit together. Yeah, the homie just like died on your watch. So like Freddie Gray actually helped him survive prosecution, basically. So like
At the time.
that's what's crazy to me at the time. And then he finally got caught because he's a moron. Because like here's the thing, like I don't know what show I watched this in, but there was a show where it said cops, they ain't got to be good at their job all the time. Drug dealers and criminals got to be perfect every time. Because when they mess up, we catch them. We we mess up, we're fine. We'll just, it's another day.
That's what they said
They
in the
mess up
episode.
once. That's what was it in this episode?
It was
Or
in the
this
episode.
show?
It was I think he was a prosecutor. He was talking to the Harford County Police, I believe. I think they were listening to a wiretap or something. I can't
Yeah, it
remember
was.
exactly
It
what
was
caused
yeah,
the
yeah.
conversation, but yeah, he said, look, they only have to mess up once, and we catch them.
Mm-hmm. Hey, so man, let's talk about this now. Jenkins is now in hot water, right? He basically like beats up a guy for like 30 minutes. Like basically to make him admit to the drugs. And then after the 30-minute a lot like apparently like only 30 minutes are allowed on tape and then it cuts out.
60.
And then
60 minutes, I believe.
60. Oh my
60.
god. Oh my god. It's an hour, dude. A freaking hour. It took you more than an hour to get the man to admit to taking drugs, even though he probably lied. Like, bro, that's crazy. Like he beat up a man for an hour. He probably just beat the man up just to beat the man up.
Well, he
basically.
searched everything for an hour. Yeah, I think
You
he
don't you
he
don't you
did. We
don't
saw him
think
on
you
camera too.
Then he
you don't
talked.
you
Then he
don't
talked
think
to him.
and then he
Oh no, that
talked
was
to him
all. That,
after
that was all planned. He knew.
Yeah.
He knew
It was
what
all
was
planned.
going on. Right. Just like
Yeah.
if you look at the two car accidents, you can't tell me that you have a scene full of police officers. They search a vehicle, find nothing, then automatically an hour or so later, just conveniently up under the seat or
Yeah.
behind the car.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a gun. There's some drugs. It doesn't happen. Like these cops know what he's doing. And the lady even told him, like, look, like 60 minutes, bruh. You need to get the arrest. You need to find the drugs on tape. And he was like, oh, I messed up. Let me talk to the prosecutor. So then he
He
threatened her
threatens her.
kind of
He's
slightly. Like you
yeah.
messing up my reputation. I don't want to have to come see you later on. And it was handled.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
imagine that, bro. Imagine that all you gotta do is like give like a veiled threat and they do what you want. That's crazy. That's crazy, man.
I mean, he
This
said it. He was like, I'm Wayne Jenkins. I'm the golden boy. They think I can do no wrong. He told his whole squad that. Like he really believes that he is untouchable. He's an untouchable in Baltimore. And that's the way he operated and acted.
You want to know who also thought
And
they were untouchable? Roy Jones Jr. But that's not the point. Continue with it. Sorry.
but I
I was
mean,
watching.
but
I was watching the top 25 boxers video. Sorry. Yo, Roy.
yeah, shout out to Ray King's podcast, man.
Rain Kings.
But no, yeah, but the city enabled the police to have this type of power, and even now their budget goes up every year, right? Even though when I didn't know, like I'm not a city resident, but our current mayor Brandon Scott, like the thought was once he got elected, there was going to be a defunding or a lowering of their budget, and he's increased it. So a lot of people are angry about that. Um, but no, like as long as they bring numbers, because it's a politics game, right? Um, I get elected, I come into office, I want to say I'm bringing crime down past a certain rate, and you do that by flipping the numbers. You're not really, nobody really tries to fix the problem in the city,
No,
right?
nobody.
They want to just manipulate the numbers. You do that by getting arrests, like what they showed in, I think it was episode 2. We're gonna go round up everybody that's on the street at a certain time. That way there won't be any gun violence that night, right? Everybody will be in jail, and we'll put some BS charge on them and then release them in the morning, and that will get numbers down. um you know we're going to go and make these busts. We'll arrest X amount of people, whether they did anything or not, and you can say, hey, we made this many arrests, we took this many guns off the street, we took this many drugs off the street. um you know we're doing our job. That's how the mayor can get elected and get reelected, and that's how the police department can keep their budget going up, and they can get all kinds of overtime and stuff like that, because it's just a business for them, essentially.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, I think we're gone to 40 minutes. I think we're gonna wrap up here, but before that, I want to talk about this, like a specific scene at the end, right, guys? That just blew my mind. All right, so Maurice Ward is telling a story how they're on the streets, and they're basically like chasing a dude in a minivan, and Jenkins goes on the wrong side of
Jonquil.
Topocal Jonquil, sorry, Jonquil
Jonquil.
Avenue. Yeah, and then they catch the guy. He has a kilo of cocaine, a couple of like 6,500 worth of cash, and then Jenkins is like, run his name in the system, get his address. So if he got that in the car and that money in the car, what he got at his house? They get the address, they get the name, they go to the house, and they rip through the house. They're robbing. They're robbing the house, basically. Even though they're cops, they're robbing the house. His girlfriend and his mom walk in as they're ripping the house apart. He then talks to them. Well, he then leaves. Actually, he then leaves, goes to get a search warrant. He's gone for an hour. And Maurice and one of the other dudes are just there ripping through the house, basically telling him, rip this safe open, because they find this big old safe. Rip it open somehow. Maurice finds out that the mom and the wife or girlfriend or side piece, I don't remember, probably girlfriend. Side piece was kind of disrespectful. I apologize to this woman I've never met. I'm sorry. So Maurice's job is to go talk to them, and he's talking to them. They're like, who the hell are you? And they cuss Maurice out, and Maurice is like, calm down, ma'am. We're conducting police business. We're searching your house. He then calls Jenkins. Jenkins rushes over, basically then sits them down, tells them to shut the hell up, basically. And then he said, go open up the safe. They open up the safe, and they find a bunch of money. A lot of money. But this isn't the crazy part. They take half the money, leave the other half in the safe, and Jenkins says, all right, reenact you opening the safe and catch it on video, please. I was like, excuse me? What? What? So, was that video ever released to the public? Does this video exist? That's what I want to know.
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
That's what's mind blowing to me, Jose. Jose, me and you are robbing a store. Okay, we just robbed him. All right, now let's do it again. Let's film it. But now let's say we're actually solving a crime. Go, Jose. Go.
I honestly think I think there is tape of that, because like I said before, like Justin Fenton, this is based off of Justin Fenton's book, We Own the City.
Yeah,
but this isn't a fictional tale. He's just recounting actual events. Like he's not making anything up. Everything is, he's essentially documenting what really happened. All the names in here are real people. All these events are true, actual events. So I'm pretty sure there probably is tape out there. That's probably where, you know, why he wrote that in there, and that's why they showed it. I'm pretty sure if we look it up, we could find that film.
We need to find that film.
Mm.
We need to find it.
Yeah, I need to find it because, like, bro, my brain is on. Like, my brain is like, wait, did this man just say, "All right, now close it back up,
Yes.
hit it again, film it, please"? For like Caleb, when you were watching this scene, were you like, wait, did they just do that? What just happened?
Well, more and more I can believe it because of what he thinks of himself, that he can just get away with anything without any consequences. I mean, he even says the title of the show, "We Own the City," because he really feels that way. So it's
Yeah,
like
man.
it's not so to this point in episode 4, it's not surprising to see these type of actions. But because he just do whatever he wants. I mean, like you said, he robbed a midget stripper. You can, make a
Little
movie.
person, little person stripper.
Little person.
Little person. Yeah, but he could just do whatever he wants without any consequences. And even more, that he even did better than his last sergeant Knowledge, because Sergeant Knowledge had to sneak taking his own money and not tell his crew, but he does it right in front of his crew and say, "I'm gonna take this much, y'all get this
That's
much,
true.
and that's how it's gonna
That's
be, and nobody's gonna
true.
say
Like,
anything
hey,
because I
man.
want you." That's
Oh my
it.
god. Literally, dude, he's like, here's six. Yo, but there's like 20 left. Yeah, that's mine. What? Motherfucker, I'm the sergeant. It's mine. Bounce off. I'm like, wait, that like yeah, oh my god. Oh, hey,
Yeah,
no, take me through this. This man orchestrated. It was like, yo, all right, now let me get this angle real quick. No. Vertical, please. Vertical. Bang it a couple times. Bang it a couple times. Good job.
So,
Like he made a movie. He made he made a scene within a scene, bro. That's crazy. My mind is blown. Handle your
like
thoughts.
I couldn't believe it. My only problem is, does he do this on a regular? Because if you just come out one time with a video recording you taking some drugs and some money, like, it's a little suspicious. Now I get it, he might have wanted to be the first YouTuber or something, but he was just like, yeah, open it up and be like, "Oh my god," and you could actually hear them before the safe got open, like, "Oh my god, we got it." Like, it was just a little too orchestrated. Then he came and gave his tutorial, like, "Oh man, if it's more than $5,000, we got to call the FBI. Let me call them right now." Like, it was like he was just doing a little too much. I was like, man, this dude is crazy.
Yeah.
But you can tell he's very smart. You can tell he's a criminal genius.
Absolutely, man. And again, so the reason Wayne Jenkins got caught is because G Money's an idiot. That's why. If G Money isn't an idiot and the county never knew about Shropshire and G Money, they know nothing about Wayne Jenkins. They just know the name and the stats.
Well, he's not an idiot. Once again, it's hubris. Like I said, they feel like they are above the law. They think that they're not going to get caught. Now, me personally, they didn't work with a lot of people in the gun trace task force, and one of them should have been like, "Listen, get off of that cell phone while we're doing what we're doing." But they sat back and let him do it because they just felt like, we with Wayne Jenkins, he's going to handle anything that comes by. And as far as that extra money goes, even when they robbed the two dudes from the Belvedere Towers, he was like, "Oh, this is for me because I'm buying a new grill for my work vehicle." What?
But look, I can't remember the cop's name when they interviewed him. I think it was episode 2 or 3, and they were asking him about internal affairs investigating them. They're like, "Yo, you weren't worried about them?" He's like, "No." Like, I mean, he's like,
that was Ray. That was Ray.
Yeah. He's just like, yeah, they caught me, and I got suspended for 2 years with pay, and they brought me right back. He's like that, and that's the one time they did their job, So like, it's not a they're stupid. It's that they know the system is severely broken. They know they can do whatever they want, and there is very little consequences for their actions. So that's how they operate. And just the one time they did something. The problem is what they do is supposed to just concentrate on the helpless, right? It's supposed to concentrate on poor Black neighborhoods, people that can't afford real legal representation. They can't really afford to stand up for their rights. They can do these things and nobody's going to say anything about it because they're voiceless. But the problem was what they did spilled over to the county where they have money, right? And that's where it started raising some alarms. Like, well, what's this about, right? And that's when you get the FBI involvement and all that stuff. That's what blew it up.
Yeah, I mean that one scene where they're talking about, so like Ward is just like spilling the beans, you know what I mean? It's everything, and he's like, and someone asked him like, why are you talking now? Like, why are you doing it? And he's like, I ain't trying to jeopardize my house, my family, my wife's career. I'm willing to jeopardize myself to save them. You know what? At the end, I'm not gonna lie to you. I got mad respect for Ward after this conversation because I've opened my eyes a little. He's annoyed me. He annoyed me a little. I don't know why. He just annoyed me. I just don't know why.
Everybody
Like,
knows you.
I was like he was saying stuff. I was like, wait, what? But like now I understand his thought process, right? And just the way they incentivize police work, right, guys? Because we're about to get final thoughts, but I want to talk about this real quick. I was listening to an interview with David Simon, and he was talking to Dan Lebitard, right, South Beach Sessions, and he talks about the pay scale for a cop and how, you have a homicide person has this one case, right, and he's on this case for 3 weeks, a month, catches the right guy, gets him, send him to jail. One case, 4 weeks, but the drug people get 4 drug busts in one day, and they're just arresting people. And they're incentivizing that person with, let's just say, even the drug busts have no merit. They get released legitimately 2 days later. But the homicide detective who's had one case in 4 weeks, got the right guy, got all the paperwork in, did everything correct, he doesn't get paid the same amount as the drug guy who arrested 5 people in one day, with 4 of them being civilians, and they out on bail on the street because they didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? So like that's what's they need to restructure police pay, because this scene at the end when they're all sitting there, having a beer at, I don't know, probably a diner in Baltimore, and they're talking about their base salary and their overtime, and they ask Maurice, what's your base salary? He's like, it's 72. It's like, okay, that's modest. What's your overtime? 63.
Yeah.
What? And then Gondo said, man, I only made 29. Like, it is what it is. But Jenkins, that's what threw me off. His base was 80. His base was 85. His overtime was 83.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they need to readjust what actual police work consists of. They're not gonna do it. I don't think they'll ever do it. They don't know what real police work looks like nowadays. They don't, because this interview with David Simon is like, yo, the way they do this, way they distribute money is just all screwed up, because the cop that has to have a case for 4 weeks because it's a murder case, and the drug dude who can like arrest the guy literally any day he wants and arrest 4 guys and gets paid overtime for just overfilling the box. Why do you want to be murder police? Why do you want to be a cop? Why do you why? It's just like, your guys' thoughts on that, guys. That scene where they're just like throwing out numbers and you're like, whoa, what? That's crazy. Jose.
Okay. Look, doing good police work is hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of places, they just don't pay you anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a dangerous job. You're dealing, with all kinds of people, right? And because of that, hiring numbers will go down, because it's like, well, who wants that job, right?
Mm-hmm.
But elected officials use police to, in part, help them get elected, right? We like to see arrests, drug busts, crime go down, in particular for cities like this, homicide rates. We like to see those go down when we need them to go down, and we use the police for that. So we're going to incentivize them to recruit people. We're going to give them a chance to make more money, and this is how we're going to do it. And we're going to look the other way when they're going to do what they want to do, because we're getting what we want out of it. What we need to do is, yes, there have been efforts to defund the police. When people hear the term defund the police, people think abolish the police. It's not abolish the police. It's stop incentivizing them to do stuff like this. There's a cap on how much you can make. You make what you make. If you don't like it, don't take the job. right? Start putting those resources into other things that will actually help the city, right? Baltimore City is a very segregated city. People don't realize that because it's majority black. But you had the black butterfly and the white L. We talked about it on our show before. Um,
Explain
it's
that to
not
me,
just
Jose.
so the black
What is that?
butterfly,
Okay.
if you look at the map of Baltimore City, east side and west side, that's where the majority of black people are located. From north to south, down along the harbor, that's where the majority of your white residents reside. Okay, that's the white L. Um, if it's not just the it's not just by race that is segregated. It's also resources. So most of your city resources go into the white L, right? Your best jobs are going to be there. Best schools are going to be there, right? Um, you know, property, things of that nature, um, and also transportation. So if you're living in the black butterfly, it's not only do you not have the same job opportunities, it's hard for you to travel if to get a good job in those nicer neighborhoods because it's even though it's a city, it's not as easy to uh, to commute across the
Mhm.
city if you live in these different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So you take away opportunities and you're also flooding these neighborhoods with drugs and guns. What do you get? You get lots of crime, right? You also have these neighborhoods that still have lead in their houses. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You have food deserts. Like there's so many different things. You have schools that don't have AC or heat. Like you have all these issues that could be contributing to actually fixing those problems. If you fix those problems, that's going to bring the crime rate down. But those things don't happen fast enough for these politicians to get elected and get what they want out of the city. So they don't focus on that. They focus on that fast food. Like I like to call it fast food. Hey, we're bringing crime down. We brought the homicide rate down to this. We brought drug busts up to this. Those are numbers that they can use to win elections, and just it's a cycle that keeps repeating itself.
Mhm. Your thoughts on it, Hendo?
Yeah, just like he said, it's a trickle down effect. They use the crime to get elected. It goes from the mayors down to the commissioners to the police chief, the shift commanders. That's why we have such a great turnover rate. In Baltimore City, they like to use the number 300. They try to keep the murder rate in Baltimore under 300, and it's literally impossible for them to do that. So we keep getting this turnover, and now you have your police force out there trying to kind of divert or draw people's attention away from murder and start focusing on arrests, stop and frisk, other things. So they just do that. So you can have that cop arrest 6 people for drugs and one of them get convicted, but I still have 6 people arrested on my stat sheet. And those stats are what they use to get people jobs and keep them in office. It's not right, but it's just the way that it is in Baltimore. And if they actually paid them a little bit better, I think they should increase the pay and increase the responsibility of their actions as well. And then we might have a different police force and things going forward.
Mhm. Kev, your final thoughts on it, bro?
Yeah, well, we're going with the how they get that increased pay is a lot of job. When you get a good job that pays well, there's a lot of education and a lot of you have to go through a lot of training for those higher, paying jobs. Like that's what you need from police. Have more training, more education. So if you want to get paid like that, well, then you have to do what like other jobs. We have to go to like 4 or 8 year universities, with all that training and education, and then you can get paid that much that how you want, and then I think you get better police work when you have that education and training.
Well, I said, so like I looked up, so I typed in Baltimore City in Google, right, guys? And literally, they designated the area you're talking about, Jose. Literally, like they mapped it out for me with like this weird ass shape where it's like I see the L, I see an
Right.
L, and then like I see like the L, and it kind of like diagonally dips at Fort Armistead, and then it cuts up the 695, and it keeps going past Brooklyn Park, and then it catches Cherry Hill in West Baltimore, and it keeps going up to St. Agnes Hospital, and it goes straight up. It's then there's Leakin Park and Woodland on the left side, and then Glen Oak, and then
Gwen Oak,
Gwen
Glen Oak.
Yes.
Yeah, like literally, but I'm seeing the map, and they're catching everything. I'm pretty sure like Morgan State is right there. I see Morgan State. Shout out to them. And then you got the two museums, the aquarium, and then it's just like wow,
one issue that we had, and I guess this kind of plays into a little bit of the why they went from the city to investigating in the county. I can't remember what year it was, but it was around 2005, I guess. Growing up from being in the city, everybody wanted to live in the county. That was everybody's dream, living in the city growing up. We want to live in the county. So around 2005, what happened is John Hopkins, the hospital, bought up all the projects around the hospital because they were tired of all their employees not being able to get to work because of snow, inclement weather, whatever. So they bought these projects and tore them down. They told the residents, hey, I'll give you a certain amount of money and I'll help you move out to the county. So they paid them and they moved them to the county. So all of that city crime migrated out to the county. That's why sometimes if you go through certain parts of Baltimore, you'll see a white neighborhood smack dab in the middle of a black neighborhood. Like it'll be pretty, it's clean, it's brand new, and then you'll just see boarded up houses all around it. It's just crazy how they did that.
And then Johns Hopkins did nothing with that property.
Nothing. That makes sense. Handle what you just said. That happens in Oakland. It's this little city called Piedmont. You look it up on the city, right? It's the city Piedmont. Around it.
Oh,
Oakland.
I heard about Piedmont.
Oakland. It's Oakland. Legit.
You know what's funny? I knew somebody from Oakland.
Oakland.
I knew somebody from Oakland I used to work with. He said he lived in the city. He said he hated Baltimore because it reminded him of back home.
Literally, Oakland is huge. Like people forget how huge it is. Like it's huge. That's what kind of pisses me off about the Raiders talking about like we don't make a lot of money in this market. It's like, yeah, you do. Shut up. Stop lying. It's huge. It's not even just Oakland, bro. Like San Leandro, Richmond, Berkeley. Like it's a huge market. Like so, miss me with that. We don't make money in this market, BS. Because y'all make bank here. All right, y'all make bank, and that's what pisses me off about with the A's. We don't make a lot of money. No, y'all don't want to spend money. There's a difference, homie. It's a difference. You make money here. You make money, and the issue is you make the people invest in the team, then you sell everybody. That's your fault. That's your fault. That's why no one's going to the games. That's why only you get 3,000 people at a game. Because why the hell am I going to be invested in a player that's going to be gone in 4 years? And we know he's going to be gone. It's not like he may be gone. No, he's going to be gone.
Right.
They literally got rid of their best players last year. Like, and everyone saw it coming. Everyone saw it coming because, like, all right, bye, Matt. You have a nice day. I hope you enjoy Atlanta. I hope you enjoy Toronto, Matt. They had two Matts, by the way. There's a third baseman and their first baseman. One went to Toronto, one went to Atlanta. Like legitimately, bro. Piedmont. I played against them. Played against them in high school football and middle school football. It's a city within the city. So, like, same thing which y'all said, a white neighborhood inside the black neighborhood. That's what Piedmont is. Even though there's other races in Piedmont,
right?
But it was created for like a white safe haven because in the 60s, 50s, I believe, it was the Great White Flight. Black people were moving into Oakland coming from the South, trying to be like, yo, I'm out. That's why Bill Russell came from Louisiana to Oakland. Same thing with Huey Newton, and white people were like, no, bye, I'm gone. So they moved to Brentwood, Antioch. Like those cities, like out in inward, but there was a group of people in Oakland that were like, I'm not leaving. You know what we're gonna do? We'll create our own city. So they basically created their own city to be like, yo, black people, stay over there. Don't come in my city. Like, don't. And they created it within the city, and it was okay. That's what's mind blowing to me. Like, people be like, oh no, Ferris, it's different. It's different. Like, no, literally, look at the map. It's Piedmont, Oakland. Like, I'm not like, don't say I'm not blind, homie. I've seen a map. Don't insult my intelligence. I've been to the city. I have drove through Piedmont was in Piedmont, drove through Piedmont, then I was in Oakland. And it took me less than 10 minutes. That's how close they are.
Right.
So, like, don't insult my intelligence. I know why it happened. Y'all don't want to admit it. That's fine, white folk, because you don't want to be, because apparently y'all are very liberal in this region. Lies. They're lies. It's lies. A couple are. Not all. It's like, you know, it is what it is. But I don't insult my, it's like, just like you said, Jose, it's crazy. Just like you said, man. Just like you said. All right, guys. We've gone an hour in 5 minutes. I think this has been a great conversation. It's been a phenomenal conversation, man.
Yes, it.
Yeah. But I just want to go around the horn and just final thoughts on the episode. And what do y'all think is going to happen in episode 5 and 6? Like, any theories? Well, we probably already know it. If you read the book, you know what happens. So like, forget that question. Just like your final thoughts, Caleb.
And yeah, I can't wait to see how this all turns out. Because obviously I don't know the entire story, and obviously I saw in the preview that how all this is affecting Suitor. Yes, he has like this conflict of whether he is a good cop or not, bad, or is he a dirty cop, and you kind of see that affecting him. So I'm interested in that, and seeing the rest. Like
Hendo.
Yeah, I want to find out what happens with Suitor as well. Like you said, in the beginning, we were kind of skeptical on him. But when he went to the police station and talked to that one guy, and he was like, it's not like it used to be, we did what we did, but nothing really changed. That's one aspect of it. I believe that they're going to focus more on the Freddie Gray in episode 5, pretty much on the takedown probably in episode 6. But the lasting image that I got from this so far was Jenkins saying, look, as long as we bring in the guns, we can do what we want to do. We own this city.
Yeah. I love it when a character says the title of the show. It's phenomenal.
That's a strong scene too. That was a strong scene.
Exactly. And it wasn't corny either. It was like, oh wow.
But it was also truth.
Yeah,
at that time.
Yeah. Jose.
So in terms of what's going to happen, I mean, I pretty much know what's going to happen. I followed this story. How
closely did you?
I've read a few articles on it. I've read a couple of police reports, or not police reports. Some of the, I guess, it wasn't an FBI investigation. It was there was a law office around here that wrote a whole report, and this is dating back before the Gun Trace Task Force even started, chronicling all the way up through the Gun Trace Task Force, back when Ed Norris used to be the commissioner, and he went to prison himself. All right.
Yeah. He should have went to jail.
Ed Norris he's a radio host now. He does.
Of course he is.
Yes. But yes. I've read some stuff on it. But Sean Suitor, he's going to play a huge role. That's all I'll say. He's going to play a huge role in it. Sean Suitor is what got me into the story. The news about him is what first got me into like what's going on with that. I'm not sure if that's when everybody else found out about the Gun Trace Task Force, but I just know that particular story revealed everything to me when I first read about all this. But yes, but great so far, great show. I didn't have any doubts it would be great. I was excited to see how they're going to portray this, and they've nailed it. I mean, even how people look. I mean, Stephanie Rollins Blake, the lady that plays Stephanie Rollins Blake looks exactly like her. I every time they show her, I do a double take. Right, Stephanie Rollins Blake is a former mayor. Looks exactly like her.
Yeah, the lady who said, yeah, I'm not running for re-election.
Yeah, I thought it was her at first.
Me too.
I thought it was her.
I don't know if the DA was Marion Mosby, right? She's a woman.
Yeah, Marilyn Mosby.
Yeah, I like how they cut, like when Jenkins was watching, when they were watching her drop the charges. I love how like sometimes shows cut in the real footage,
the real clip,
the real clips. And I'm like, oh wow, that's because Narcos did that a lot.
Yeah, little fun fact about Marilyn Mosby. She was on an episode of, I think it was like the People's Court, either People's Court or Judge Judy, one of those court shows. She was on an episode of that before she became a prosecutor.
Oh well, good for her. Good for her. Well, guys, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for watching. Let's break it down. Jose, where can people find you, my man?
All right. You can find me and my brother Brodney on Lunch Break Hot Take on YouTube. That's Lunch Break Hot Take. We do a live show every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. Also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at LBHT Show. And also, if you're into boxing, me and my brother do a boxing channel with our friend OTR Mike, which is Ring Kings Podcast. So that's Ring Kings Podcast. We don't have a set schedule for live streams, but if there's a major fight going on, you're going to see us drop a video there. And you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Ring Kings Pod.
OTR Mikey, friend of the show. Brodney, friend of the programs. Hendo,
That's right.
we can find you, man.
You can find me on YouTube at Ravens Online on Gatekeepers, or you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at R Gatekeepers. I don't do a live show. I just pop up with videos every now and again for right now until I find my niche, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, man. Do it whenever you like it, man. That's the American dream. Doing what I want when I want it.
Yes,
Caleb.
sir.
You can find me at NFL Caleb 22 on Twitter and Instagram, and on this channel reviewing The Ultimate Fighter with you.
Damn right. We'll be reviewing episode 3 a little later. All right, guys. I'm Ferris Madonna. Y'all can find me at Ferris Madonna on Twitter, right here, right there. There it is. You can find me here on the Let's Get Ready Network. Throughout hosting a multitude of shows. I was finally on our Friday show for the first time in a couple weeks because school has ended. I'll be reviewing episode 5.
Wait, what show is that, Ferris?
The Let's Get Ready to Talk Schmodown podcast every Friday, 8 o'clock. Also, too, I do host the Highlights show. It is our sports show. We're gonna start. We're actually big announcement. We're actually starting our tennis recap show. Is coming back up. It's our major recap show. The Rally is for our audio feed listeners. Me, Adelia, Corey, Cameron, Dagan. We talk is major tennis, baby. Roland Garros is coming up. It's the clay courts. It is the tournament I like to call Rafa Nadal's playground because he's won it 13 times. Literally. The man's won it 13 times, which is wild. So there's that. I'm also shout out Caleb. We do review highlights reviews of The Ultimate Fighter, as well as highlight reviews of sports documentaries with OTR Mike. He is one of the guys that I do it. We have done. We reviewed the Len Bias documentary, the 30 for 30 without bias, as well as another Baltimore centric show. We reviewed Basketball County in the Water, which is about PG County, which is I believe.
That's PG County. That's not
Stop, bro. Stop, bro. Don't do that.
Sorry, my bad. Let me rephrase that. Another Maryland-centric show.
Yes.
Thank you. Another Maryland-centric show with the president of Maryland, Mikey, OTR Mikey. He knows everybody, apparently.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Legitimately
Everybody.
Yeah. Sorry, I apologize for all the Baltimore people I just offended. I apologize. You guys are not the same county. Y'all are not the same county. Please don't send Hassan Rahman after me, please.
No, you good, bro.
All right. I'll just call Lennox Lewis. I'm sorry. Why do I keep making boxing references? I don't know why.
But you don't want to go do a boxing show.
Hey, I told Brodney, let's do it. I have my list.
We're working on it. Hey,
I have a list.
We're working. Yeah, that's yeah.
I have a list.
Yes. Our pound for pound list is coming, and Fair's going to be a part of that. Yes,
it is. All right, guys, stay safe. Make sure to like and subscribe. That's all I ask for, really. Like and subscribe. That's it. That doesn't cost you no money, no muss, no fuss. Like, subscribe. That's it. Much appreciated. Have a wonderful night and stay safe.